Hi ladies and gentlemen, Moreno Ravenberg here. Before I start, there are links in the description below to the article which I'm going to discuss today, and other links if it's necessary. I decided to shoot the video first this time instead of writing the article first, the way I'm used to doing, and then shooting a video on the topic. The topic that I'm going to cover today is Christian magic effective towards opposing, or with Christian magic I mean Solomonic magic, Western ceremonial, which I practice, practically every kind of magic that can be considered Christian, okay, basically Western magic overall, telema, you name it, all kinds of whatever you want to call it, okay. But we as Western sorcerers or as Western magicians, the magic that we practice, okay, that have Christian roots and are Christian based or Christian in nature, is this kind of magic effective for non-Christians? And when I say non-Christians, I mean specifically the enemies of Christianity, and by that I mean Islam. The reason that or better said, I came to this topic, right? This topic crossed my mind because I had a couple of customers, a bunch of occult customers, not a bunch, let's just say 2 or 3, that were Islamic in nature. They were Islamists or Muslims, whatever you want to call them, prophets of Muhammad, followers of Muhammad, whatever, okay? And I want to make it clear right from this point on, that I am not, I'm not dissing any Muslims here, okay? I have nothing against Arabs or Muslim people or anything like that. That's not what I'm about, okay? That's not what this is about at all. This is solely from an occult perspective. But history and everything else teaches you that religiously speaking or religion-wise, that Christianity and Islam are two polar opposites, and these are sworn enemies of each other. I mean, all throughout history, you could just Google Christian wars or anything similar, and the first thing that you'll get are wars between Christianity, Christian troops and Islamic troops, okay? I think even before the Ottoman Empire or the rise of the Ottoman Empire, the two have always tried to conquer one another. And the thing is that since I've decided to offer my services to the public, I've had 2 or 3 Muslims, okay? One was from Morocco, the other one, I don't know where he was from. I think he was from Kuwait, and the other one was from Sweden. But he was clearly Muslim, okay? Basically, most likely some migrant that basically entered Sweden, okay? There are plenty of Muslims in Sweden now with the whole migrant crisis and everything. Most likely he's from Syria. But in any case, they were Arabs, and they were most likely Muslim. And the names, everything gave it away. The name, it was obvious. And when dealing with them, okay, again, like I said, I have nothing against Muslims. I also have basically an unwritten rule which I state for myself, that I don't do business with Muslims. I don't do business with Muslims or Arabs, and the reason why is because they have a bunch of bad manners overall, even more so than occultists in general. I'm talking about they ask 21 questions before actually ordering something, and of course I don't work that way. Time is money. For me, time is literally money. So you'll have to excuse me too. The lighting isn't the best because I am shooting this at night. It's the sun is just set. I think it's just past 7 here locally in my location. And yeah, these guys were a bunch of trouble, and after the second or the third one gave difficulties in terms of wanting a refund or cancelling an order. I said to myself, nah, Muslims are nothing but trouble, okay, when it comes to doing business. So I'm basically vowing to myself that I'm not going to do business with any other Muslim anymore. I don't know why, what it is about them, but they're just nothing but trouble. When I say nothing but trouble, I mean nothing but trouble. Okay, these are simply customers that can be a gigantic pain in the ass. And again, I'm just generalizing here. I'm not saying that every Muslim is bad or anything like that, but it is noticeable. And in any case, that's why I don't do it anymore. I refuse to offer my services to any Islamist or any Muslim. And it was because of this that I came across the topic, and it kept lingering in the back of my head. And I did research today, and I said to myself, Because I wanted to know, the question that I asked myself is my magic, is Christian magic, okay, is it ineffective against Muslims based on everything, the fact that Muslims and Christianity are enemies of one another and so on and so forth. And guess what? It seems like I have, or no, not it seems, it turns out that I've discovered, let's just say, a fifth exception, okay? Let's just say the fifth dent in Western magic. No system, as you know, is foolproof, and God is the only one that can literally guarantee anything. But magic, just like everything else in this world, is not foolproof, okay? I don't think it will ever be the case. It has its flaws, and this is simply the powers that you're working with on the problem, nor is it you as a sorcerer. It's simply the system is a man-made system, and it is simply not foolproof. So it's subject to negativity and subject to failure, to put it like that. And I already listed in my article astrology. You can also visit that. I'm going to put that in the description below. I already listed in the article the importance of astrology and tarot cards in the occult. The importance of astrology and tarot in the occult. I listed that as also in that article. I also list exceptions, okay, where basically a magical system that is generally utilized by Western magicians like myself, where these are exceptional cases basically that will produce failure, or that will lead to failure when performing a ritual or undertaking any kind of magical work or esoteric or spiritual work. And after doing my research, it turns out that Christian magic is also ineffective when it comes to dealing with Muslims. And by that I mean performing magic, okay, as a Christian magician on behalf of a Muslim. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about doing work for myself. It doesn't matter who you are. If you do work for yourself as a magician, okay, that is completely neutral. It's not that just because that person is Muslim, that person can't be harmed by me as a Christian magician. This is just an example that I'm listing. When I say work on behalf, I mean if a Muslim comes to me the same way that customers came to me, and they said, hey, I want to purchase something from you. I want to order something from you, and I want you to do this and this and that for me. I want you to do spiritual work for me and see to it that a spirit produces or manifests results in this way and that way. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, when doing work on behalf of a Muslim, okay, as a Christian magician, results will be ineffective. Results will be impotent. And by that I don't mean also, okay, based on everything. I just went through it, okay, let's just say 15 to 5 minutes ago. I double checked everything and I was like, so that's the reason that I had difficulties with some of these customers. Work was ineffective. It's not that the spirits that I assigned to the task, that they didn't do the work. They did the energetic or the astral work. It's just that the work was completely ineffective, and the conclusion based on everything that I saw too in my divinations and all my research is that a higher power is preventing results from manifesting. So spiritual work will be ineffective. If I assign an angel to help a Muslim, that angel is going to do what I ask him or her to do. But a higher power is basically nullifying the work. It's basically neutralizing the work, and thereby preventing results from manifesting, or desired results from manifesting. And again, I don't want to go as far as to say that God himself is preventing it, okay, preventing results from manifesting, but I simply don't know how else to phrase it. So that's why I'm simply using the phrase higher power. Bottom line is that a higher power is blocking results or withholding results from happening based on everything that I just mentioned. This is basically you trying to perform work, or me trying to perform work for the enemy, and higher forces are not allowing that to happen. This is unsurprising if you look at it from a literary perspective, I mean, aside from the fact that Christianity and Islam are polar opposites, like I said, and that they're sworn enemies of one another, Islamists uphold ideals that are entirely different, basically. Their entire belief system is entirely different. I'm not saying that other religions aren't that way either, but I mean, any person in the world, basically, okay, the general person, if you were to ask someone on the street who is the enemy of Christianity, most of them would say Islam, okay? Any person that even remotely follows the news or anything. The same goes for asking a Muslim, okay? Okay, which religion is the enemy of Islam? They'll automatically say Christianity. That's the reason that the West and the Middle East is near constantly at war with each other, or that they're constantly at war with each other. The West upholds largely Christian values, and Islam upholds the exact opposite, okay? I'm not saying that they uphold anti-Christian value, they hold Islamic values, values that are the exact opposite on paper of Christianity. And yeah, that is basically it. That's the reason that that I've had these issues with customers like these. Because I also found it annoying. I was like, huh? No other customer that I've had, okay, regardless of what kind of a cult parasite he or she was, okay, with Muslims, when I even tried to talk to them right from the start, it was nothing but negativity. A bunch of things happened to the point where I was like, it's almost like the guys that I'm working with don't want me to help this person, or it's almost like the guys that it's almost like my entire system, the system that I utilize, the magical system that I utilize, does not want me to help this person, or is agitated by me trying to help this person, or accepting this person as a customer. And this only confirms it, okay, and solidifies it. I just double checked and everything, and I was like, yeah, okay, so yeah, my work basically as a Christian magician is ineffective. Western ceremonial / Solomonic. It's ineffective for Muslims, for basically the enemy, for the opposing party. I don't view every Muslim I see as an enemy or anything like that, okay? I don't view Islam as the enemy, personally. But yeah, from a religious perspective, that is the case on paper. So that's the reason in any case that magical work done for an Islamist or a Muslim by a Christian magician like myself won't work in general. Again, this does not refer to me doing work for myself aimed at a Muslim or an Islamist. That's an entirely different ballgame, okay? But I'm talking about performing Christian work for a Muslim, occult-wise, is like asking a fish to come on land and to breathe air, and asking that one to survive. That's obviously not going to work. It's basically like a 2 + 2 = 5 scenario. It makes no sense, okay? It's illogical. So that's in any case why I decided to shoot the video on this topic, and food for thought. Very interesting topic and very complicated too. But like I said, I just checked it, I double checked and everything, and yeah, that is the case. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's why I had so many problems with these people. I'm talking about it, I didn't even have a lot of people, okay? I just had like maybe 2 or 3 customers. And I noticed right away, hey, these guys are Arabs, okay? This woman's an Arab woman, she's from Morocco. And it was problems right from the beginning. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, honestly. If it wasn't a large order, I would have said no. I would have been inclined to say no. But that woman from Morocco did place a large order above $1,000, and this was in the beginning of my web shop. So I was like, oh fuck it, just bite the bullet and just help her. But nope, she ended up canceling the order after a lot of headache and some heated argument and debate, going back and forth, engaging in a tug of war argument with her online. The company that I work for, Fiverr, or via which I do business, Fiverr, they decided to cancel the order. And after this happened once or twice, I was like, okay, no, I'm starting to get annoyed in dealing with Arabs or Muslims. They're turning out to be a pain in the ass business-wise. And the third customer that basically, or not even the customer, the third wannabe customer that basically asked 21 questions without ordering anything. And then afterwards telling me, no, I don't want to order anything. And then coming back to it after a month or so. Nah, I was like, okay, this is the last straw. I'm not going to help Muslims or Arabs anymore. Nah, they're too much of a pain in the ass, and I refuse to offer business, to do business with them. And I refuse to offer myself as a vendor. I reserve the right to refuse service to them as a vendor. And yes, in any case, that's the reason why. So long story short, Christian magical work is ineffective for Muslims and Islamists, active followers of Islam, due to the fact that on paper Christianity and Islam are the enemy, or enemies of one another. So as a Christian, Islam is the enemy from a religious perspective, and occult-wise that also seems to be the case, or not seems to be, that is the case occult-wise. I've officially confirmed and established that. And again, the thing is that when engaging in spiritual work, the spirits that I'm asking for help, or the spirits that I'm assigning the task of doing something, that I'm asking them, the spirits that I'm asking to do work, they are doing the work, the energetic or the astral work, okay? It's not like they didn't do anything, or because out of some kind of hidden reluctancy and so on, for the reasons I just mentioned. They did the work. That's not the point. They did the work. End of story. Okay? But the problem is that it's being blocked by a higher power. It's basically being nullified and neutralized. You can imagine it as some kind of bullet that's being shot at someone, and the bullet is just being stopped midway by something which renders it ineffective. It's the same thing. They are doing the work, the spirits that I work with. They are performing the work, but the work is hollow. It's being rendered ineffective by a higher power. The conclusion that I can draw based on the reason that I just mentioned, or because of the reason that I just mentioned, so this is basically like some kind of hidden rule that it's forbidden to help the enemy. Think of it what you want, but this is the conclusion that I've been able to draw after an extensive amount of research.